Suguru Geto is one of the 4 special grade sorcerers in Jujutsu Kaisen. Today we will see if he can beat all of the JJK verse at his full potential. As we know, Geto is a fraud whose only on-screen defeats are a bunch of kids peacefully studying in a school and an old man whom he beat ferociously. And eventually, when a homeless man kicked his ass, he starts his racist arc and breakup with his twink in front of KFC. Today, we will see this fraud's full potential. To start this what-if off, let us discuss how strong a canon version of Geto is. Well, as we know, he is a special grade, and they are basically sorcerers that can overthrow a nation by themselves. He still has the Uzumaki and thousands of cursed spirits, and remember that he fought Yuta after dispatching many of his cursed spirits. You can argue that the canon Geto is a top 10 in JJK. Geto might be the weakest among all 4 special grade sorcerers, but he is still pretty strong, as he was able to fight both Yuta and Rika in JJK 0. Now let's see a full potential Geto. Well, to start this, let's see all the things and abilities he will be possessing. He will have domain expansion, domain amplification, reversed curse technique, and all of the cursed spirits that Kenny had in JJK. If Geto were to be alive in this timeline, he will also have Rika and all of the Deester cursed spirits. At least that's what majority of the what-ifs say, so we will go with it. This version of Geto is absolutely dog-walking Yuta. The only reason main timeline Geto lost was because his cursed spirits were split between 2 battlefields, so against an even more powerful Geto, Yuta has basically no chance. Yuta might be able to beat some under 18 or child-looking cursed spirits, but even with Rika, he is losing to an Uzumaki in a beam clash this time. The same story can be said for other characters like Kashimo or Yuji, as they will be overwhelmed with the sheer quantity of the cursed spirits. Now let's talk about Geto's lover. How will full potential Geto fight off against Gojo? First, raw power. Gojo's power comes from quality. Geto's power comes from quantity. Gojo has one of the strongest curse techniques ever created. Geto has an army. Thousands of cursed spirits, Rika, special grades, maximum Uzumaki, and countless techniques gathered throughout years of collecting curses. In terms of versatility, Geto takes it. Gojo mainly relies on Limitless and its extensions. Geto can adapt to almost any situation because every curse adds another ability to his arsenal. But Gojo is still kicking Geto's ass. Because the biggest obstacle standing in front of Geto is infinity. Nearly all of his cursed spirits become fodders, and with domain amplification, he himself isn't doing anything to Gojo. Also, Hollow Purple will be an insta-victory for Gojo. Then we move to Battle IQ. This category is closer than many people think. Even though Gojo only have 2 brain cells, when it comes to beating someone he turned into Prime John Jones. But in overall IQ, I will give it to Geto, as he can also plan an attack, which is how Gojo is defeated every time in the series. Cursed energy is also a factor. Normally, Gojo wins this category because of the 6 eyes. His cursed energy efficiency is absurd. But this version of Geto has Rika, reverse cursed technique, and an army that can fight for him. He doesn't need to constantly put himself in danger. He can force Gojo to deal with waves after waves of attacks while preserving his own strength. Then comes the most important category, domain expansion. Because every battle in JJK eventually comes down to domains. If Geto's domain loses instantly to Unlimited Void, the fight is basically over. But if full potential Geto possesses a domain capable of competing with Gojo's, then the battle changes completely. Now Gojo is forced to fight Rika. He's forced to fight thousands of curses. He's forced to avoid maximum Uzumaki. And he's forced to watch for attacks from every direction at once. For the first time, Gojo would be facing an opponent capable of matching him in multiple areas instead of just one. But even then, Gojo remains Gojo, the strongest sorcerer of the modern era. So who wins? If we're talking about canon Geto, Gojo wins without question. If we're talking about full potential Geto with Rika, domain expansion, domain amplification, reverse curse technique, and years of growth, then the fight becomes one of the closest matchups in the series. Geto has the numbers. Geto has the versatility. Geto has the strategy. But Gojo has the strongest toolkit in modern Jujutsu. And that's why my final verdict is this. Full potential. Geto can push Gojo further than almost anyone else. He can challenge him. He can pressure him. He can even force him into the hardest fight of his life. But until proven otherwise, Satoru Gojo is still the strongest. Winner, Gojo, extreme difficulty. Let's not talk about Sukuna, as he will destroy Geto completely. All of Geto's cursed spirits will be chopped in pieces in Malevolent Shrine, and unlike Gojo, Sukuna doesn't care about bystanders, so he will probably use Fuga and end the battle. If this video gets 200 likes, I will make a version for Kashimo at his full potential, basically if he was a scientist instead of a farmer. If this video also gets 10 or 15 views like my last video, then I will get a job instead. Bye.